Thank you. Let's move this. Hello, good morning. Excellent, excellent. It's very nice to be here. Thank you all for coming, and thank you to the Creative Mornings team for having me. I also want to say to all of you, congratulations for making it here today. I will say in the last few weeks it seems that getting out of bed in the morning has been perhaps a little more difficult with all of the world news and this Berlin gray weather. It takes much energy to do this, to come out. And one of the many things I was looking for here with doing this talk was coming to be in a big room with a lot of people who are all very different and all very creative. And so we're here and we're going to do this now. Thank you for doing that. Good. And I'm very happy to talk to you about tools today. I'd like to ask how many of you in the audience have or have ever used the IKEA toolkit? Yeah, raise your hands. Yeah, good. Excellent. This is a very nice way to start with tools. I find that this toolkit is excellent for many reasons. It's an excellent introduction to tools. It's very easy to buy. It has everything that you need. And it's very accessible. It's a wonderful introduction to having tools into your life. And it's interesting to think that this is a kit that is very direct compared to something that is a little more overwhelming. This is from Bauhaus. These are all of the hammers that are available at Bauhaus. Perhaps it's a bit much, but I find it also very exciting. Look at all of the options. Large and small, different shapes and different sizes of the handles and such. And also, here are all of the screwdrivers and all of the wrenches. I think this is beautiful. It's artistic and nice. And they exist for a reason also, but perhaps it's too much. There are many ways to think about tools, and we'll come in here and do this for this talk. Something to consider, like what is a tool? In my research, checking around, I found a very consistent and very basic definition of what a tool is. It's something to carry out a function. Very nice, very simple. But with my experience and this curious energy I have around tools, I thought maybe today we can enhance the definition by adding some words to it. For me, tools not only help me with a carrying out function, but also give me much satisfaction and much empowerment. And I find that very, very energizing. And maybe hopefully you'll feel the same about all of the tools in your life at the end. But where did I get all of this enthusiasm for tools and this energy? I would like to introduce all of you to my parents. This is my mom and dad, Larry and Joanne, at our house in San Jose, California. And I'll provide context for this photograph. This was for my mom's birthday several years ago, and it was a very exciting moment. My dad had gifted to my mom a set of pens, but just not any pen. These were Sharpies. And it was a full complete color set of Sharpies and an extra set of just black Sharpies. Very exciting. And to see this excitement over a seemingly simple item felt very, very, it's something that I grew up with a lot, and I was very happy to what? What? Louder? Sorry. Should I hold the microphone closer to my face?
I think that you just have to speak a little bit louder for the people behind. But that's all. I don't think it's the microphone.
Okay. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, alles gut? Is that better?
Yes.
I'll try to be more consistent in my voice also. Yeah. So these are my parents, and this is where I have inherited my excitement for tools. This is my dad at his desk in his workroom. And growing up, my brother and I had a lot of access to a lot of tools. I was very grateful for that. And specifically, on his desk, he always had a set of screwdrivers. And he's had this set of screwdrivers since he was 16. He bought them originally for a high school class for electrical engineering. And growing up, we always had at least this set of very colorful, very nice to use screwdrivers that let us do all sorts of things with building things or fixing things and sharing these tools with other people so that they could do the same. And growing up with that informed my decision to buy my own set of screwdrivers. Here's a set from Muji. And it's a nice compact set. You can bring it anywhere, and it works in a great number of ways. It fits well in a drawer also. That's important. Here's my mom at her sewing machine. For her, this was a very important and exciting outlet for creativity, for sewing and for even beyond. She's had this sewing machine since she was 18. And she bought it for a few reasons. It was just the right model and the right price, but also it comes in a cabinet, this wood feature like a table almost. You can open the lid and take the sewing machine out and position it and then put it away if you'd like. And that was an important feature for her. And as she was doing things with sewing, she brought out so many little tools that she would use in the process, as well as a lot of textiles. She had a library of ribbons and fabrics that she would use. And it occurred to me, she has a lot of different types of scissors. And I was always interested to see, we don't just have one pair of scissors in our life, but rather there's an opportunity for many different kinds because they fulfill different purposes and they have different feelings and different qualities and builds. On the bottom right, she's had this pair of scissors also since she was 18, and she uses them only for fabric. Sometimes maintaining or keeping a set of scissors for one's purpose is very important, just to maintain the quality and its effectiveness. And then to use scissors and to watch my parents use these tools again was always very interesting to watch them be creative. And all of this informed my own decisions about purchasing scissors in my life. Think about it. Perhaps we have something every day, and then something a little more focused. On the center there, the metal scissors are left-handed and very, very heavy duty, very nice. Is anyone left-handed? Yeah, good. I brought these. These are left-handed scissors. If you've never used them before, please come and cut something. It's very, very nice. They feel very nice, very solid. The pocket knife, very multi-purpose. I've had that since I was in high school, and it's a very important addition to my life. And gardening shears on the right, we would not cut paper with gardening shears, but rather we cut and maintain plants with them. They're designed specifically for doing that. And it feels very satisfying to maintain my plants and make sure that they're happy. This is my hairdresser, Andy. I got to talk to him a little bit about the scissors that he uses for cutting hair. They're just the right size for his hands. They have just the right feeling, just the right weight and balance. That's very important for him. Maybe you have something as well in your life that is very specific for what kind of work that you do, a kind of hobby. You take good care of it. You store it in a little pouch or something. Think about that. I hope it brings you much happiness. And also the task for taking care of tools I learned very well from my parents. The simple act of washing your scissors can make an enormous difference in their usability. Have you done this recently? Yeah. Today when you go back to the office and when you go home, wash your scissors and dry them and see how you feel afterwards. I hope you feel very excited. I was always interested to see different knives. These are my parents' knives from Chicago Cutlery, and they've had them since the 1980s. And they've always taken very good care of them, and cutting things with nice knives is enormously satisfying. And my experience really shaped the knives that I bought. I think it's very common to find sets of knives, lots and lots, like a set of knives coming with 8 knives. And what I learned in my experience, I bought these many years ago, that I think you only need about 3 knives. Something small, something big, and something for cutting bread. And so think about the knives that you have now, and if you feel a little irritated cutting the tomatoes or cutting bread, you deserve to have good knives. So maybe take a little time to to see what your friends have and go out and see what's available. And if you have good knives, that's excellent. And have them sharpened. Take them somewhere to be sharpened. There are many places here. It's quite an experience to have your knives sharpened. Oh, how nice. But you'll get them back and you're going to feel wonderful after you use them. Cutting a tomato, which is one of the most, it's like the test of a knife, is going to feel so much better. Tea is a very important thing in my life. I've been a tea drinker and hobbyist for many years, and there's a variety of things that I use to brew and serve tea. Different vessels of different sizes and different materials, depending on the tea, depending on temperature, and just my mood. So having a collection of items like this, I get to look at it and enjoy their presence. And I moved to Berlin in 2013 from San Francisco. And I had to take great care in deciding what I would bring with me, what tools I would bring. And it was a nice project to think about, well, what things have I had through the years that I've invested in and that I want to bring with me, because maybe I won't be able to find them here, or I want to make sure I have the originals, or I need to save weight. Right? I have to be very careful. And perhaps you've moved also, and think about what did you decide to bring with you, and what did you have to leave behind? And sometimes I get a little carried away. I enjoy labeling a lot of the items that I have. And this comes in really handy sometimes, because if you're in a room, in an office with a lot of people and you all have the same iPhone cable, I like to get mine back. I take care of it and make sure it's in good shape, so I like to have it back. To depart from tools we use in our hand, software. There's such many ways to think about software as tools. So here's the Adobe Suite, for example. If you're using such tools for work or pleasure, how do you feel? Are you excited to open these applications? Are you excited to open perhaps other tools in your life? FontLab. They're giving you an opportunity to be expressive and do something. And what I've always appreciated with packages of tools is that perhaps I have a little more experience in Illustrator, but I lack experience in Photoshop, so I could just ask a friend of mine, hey, can you help me with Photoshop? And then we have a chance to share a moment and understand the similarities and the differences and help each other be creative. But what is my favorite tool? Calendar. I find it very exciting to stare at my schedule and see what's coming up and plan my time. And this gives me the ability to do that and enormous satisfaction. And whatever tools you like in terms of software or anything, it's okay. You can enjoy it for yourself, and I'm sure you can find someone to share it with also. I'm currently working at a company called TeamBay. We make an HR platform for employees and for managers to exchange feedback anonymously about the workplace and about their feelings and happiness at work. Imagine this: if you work at your company and you receive an email once a week, and it invites you to participate in this question. It's one question per week. We have in our TeamBay, we have a collection of questions that we've curated that touch on many different topics in the realm of the workplace and HR, and are designed to be both specific but also very general. Each week, employees are asked one question, and this is my favorite question, naturally, because it's all about tools. When the employee is presented with this, they're able to answer yes or no, thumbs up or thumbs down. And employees are also able to provide text feedback after they answer the question. This information is recorded, and then the managers of the account, the HR manager, is able to see the results from the survey and are able to see the feedback that is collected. And it remains entirely anonymous in all the transactions. Managers are also able to reply to this feedback direct to the employee to facilitate this communication. Employees, also, after they answer the question, employees have a chance to send a thank you message to their colleagues. It's a very specific invitation within this process saying, send some positive feedback, send some praise to a colleague. Here is an opportunity for it. You can select one or multiple colleagues and include a message to them. And the email is received the next morning. So this, as a tool, is very nice for me to think about. It's facilitating communication and is encouraging people to participate and share feelings. So I like that a lot. But in the realm of software and technology, there's another tool, our phones, which provide enormous functionality and satisfaction, right? It's incredible what we can do now with our phones. We can talk to anyone, anywhere on the planet, at any time. We can hear them and see them. And it's mostly free, mostly inexpensive, I would say. We can do so much now with these phones, and it brings such satisfaction, I find, to communicate, to keep in touch, to share, and to do research. But there's something else that's happening with our phones as a tool and technology. Using this, I became anxious at times. I become nervous, depending on the items that are on our phones, the way that we're accessing information, the way that we're using all of the internet. It's the only tool that I have that brings me anxiety. Much satisfaction from all of the other tools, and of course this, but something about the phone is a little bit different. And what do you think about that? Like, it wasn't always this way. I remember with my first smartphone, here was a Palm Trio. It was all excitement and not so much anxiety. Of course, there are many reasons why. Tools and social media and the news that we have today were very different than they were many years ago. But it was a source of much optimism and excitement to be able to use this and to start communicating. And even before this, maybe some of you have this experience with your very first cell phone. How exciting it was to have a cell phone, to have a tool to communicate on the road. It had a battery. This is my first phone. It was a Motorola StarTAC, and it's relaxing in a beach chair. This is from the year 2000. This is 17 years ago. And if our technology tools have both wonderful benefits and also some anxiety as well, let's come and think back for a moment on some analog or daily tools that don't have this. There's something in our lives that I think brings enormous satisfaction and enormous public good, 100% good to yourself, your body, and your life, and to the community. And it's the bicycle. A wonderful tool to facilitate transportation, to facilitate inspiration, collaboration, everything. Everything is good when we ride our bicycles. I hope you feel the same. It's one of the reasons why I moved to Berlin, because biking here I find very, very, very enjoyable, and you can see it in this photograph. When I ride my bike, I feel like this. And when I ride my bike, I get to see this. I see forward all the time. I'm on the sidewalk, I'm on Tempelhof. Something about it lets me see forward. And there's plenty of things happening on the sides and above and below, but something about it gives me a lot of energy, and I'm very happy to be able to do it and to see so many people doing it on a daily life. So we've talked about literal tools and technology tools and some of the feelings that come with them. And I hope that that is of interest and might make you rethink a little bit about the things in your life and what you buy in the future and what you share in the future. And I hope that you continue to love your tools. Thank you.